begins, and thus begins the week. An absolutely epic week. A week that I am, I am excited. I am nervous. You know, I'm a bit worried. This is kind of it, man. In a lot of ways, guys, this is kind of it. This is kind of it. And if you know, you know. Okay. If you agree that this is kind of it, throw one into the chat, because this is kind of it, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Whew, and what I'm so I don't know about you guys, but I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. Big deal for Star Wars. Big deal for the community. Big deal for me. Big deal for Star Wars Theory, my good friend, and just an interesting moment that we're all about to go through with regards to the Ahsoka show. Okay, it's an absolutely huge deal, and I think it's going to tell us a lot about where the Star Wars brand is at. I think it's going to tell us a lot of where Star Wars fans are at. And I think it's going to show us what Dave Filoni can do when he gets his own show working over there within Lucasfilm. And I'm sure you guys have seen it. Okay, I'm sure you guys have seen it. A lot of stuff happened last week, Friday, going into the weekend, with regards to Ahsoka, and my apologies for no stream last Friday. Now, the big reason that I didn't stream on Friday is because I kind of decided after talking to the community on Thursday and everything that it was the time to launch the Kickstarter for my comic book, and we're going to talk about that later on in the stream because we're ready to go, guys. I'm also very excited and nervous about that, but we'll talk more about that later. So that's why there was no stream on Friday, but there was a ton of stuff that happened on Friday that I want to talk to you about. You know, like the fact that we're going to get to see Ahsoka at an actual freaking reasonable time. Unbelievable. We're going to do watch parties. We should be able to do watch parties for the whole show now. So I'm very excited about that. I also think it's a good move for Star Wars overall. And I hope they do that with the rest of their shows, man. That is a really cool idea. So if you didn't know, we are going to be having, or the episodes are dropping now on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and that would be 9 p.m. Eastern time. Uh-oh, I got something in the beard. What the hell? It's kind of fuzzy. Thanks. Good looking out, chat. Thank you for that. But yeah, so we're going to be getting them at 9 p.m. So I'll probably go live around 8:30 Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday night. And that's just so cool, man. So we'll be able to watch them. Then I'll do a sort of full recap the following day at 11 a.m. So that'll be really cool, and I'm excited for that. And also the first social media reaction. So there was a ton of people that got to see the first two episodes, whether or not they saw them at an event or they did it through the press screenings and logged in on the back end of Disney Plus. A lot of people saw the first two episodes. There's a lot of opinions out there, and I want to talk about them. Okay, so a big part of today's show is going to be going over all of that, trying to figure out, like, where should our expectations be for Ahsoka, and what do we think is going to happen in these first two episodes of Ahsoka, okay? But on top of that, and oh man, there's so much goodness going on. Okay, so tomorrow, guys, this is going to be a crazy week, okay? For me, it's an absolutely insane week. So tomorrow at Gamescom, which I believe, and you guys help me out in the chat, I'm pretty sure that's like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Somebody check me on that. Gamescom tomorrow, we're getting another Rebel Moon trailer, and I think we're going to be getting a lot of fun stuff about Rebel Moon tomorrow. And so, man, I am incredibly excited. I'm going to stream for it. So tomorrow, we're going to do a stream at 11 a.m. for the Nerd Avengers, and we'll just chill, we'll kick it, and then we'll go live for everybody, like around 3 or maybe around 4. For that. So, because I'm really excited about Rebel Moon, man. This is awesome. So I want to talk a little bit about Rebel Moon today because there were some things that came out over the weekend for that as well. And I'm also really excited for that trailer tomorrow. So I want to get ready for that. Well, on top of that, there's, Blue Beetle, which we got to talk a little bit about Blue Beetle. And we got to We'll touch on Blue Beetle, okay? And there's also some crazy stuff going on in Marvel Land, man. I'm going to do a big video about this, but they're eyeing up a soft reboot for the MCU after Secret Wars. There's been a lot of really weird stuff coming out about Marvel Studios from some of the insiders. So I'm going to put all that in a big video, but I figure we could talk about it because that is... oh boy, you know, such a crazy thing going on with Marvel Studios, going on with Star Wars. What the hell is happening to our favorite things, to our favorite nerdy things? That is a whole story. Okay, now, I want to mention. I'm not sure how to like segue into this. I want to mention that we will be launching the Kickstarter today for my comic book, and we're going to be doing that at the end of the stream. So we'll go through like regular stream stuff. We'll talk about these things. We'll do a little Q&A. And then I'll launch the Kickstarter live on stream with you guys, okay? And I'll also answer any questions that you guys have around that time. But this is a super big deal for me. Worked really hard all throughout the weekend, even though we had like family in. I was like kind of waking up early and working and dedicated a lot of time. I think it's ready to go. And I'm very excited for that comic and to launch it. But the one thing I'll say before we get into the news is y'all better not sell out those collector bundles, because I need to get one of those collector bundles, and I don't know if I can get one through my own account on my own Kickstarter, so I got to get Elisa to get one, so you guys cannot buy all of those. So that's the rules. So there you go. Also, too, before we go any further, I was for the video that I shot for the Kickstarter, I went and found some of my old books I did. So most of you guys know this, but I used to work in comics, and I used to do indie comics. So I've done multiple crowdfunding campaigns before, and it was just kind of cool, like kind of coming full circle, like going back and looking at some of these from years ago, and getting back into comics now because... yeah, like I sort of left comics to focus on YouTube. It's pretty wild. But, yeah, it was cool. It's a cool little full circle moment. So I'm excited for that, but we'll do that later on in the stream. Okay. Okay, where should we start? Where should we begin? Should we talk about, Sugar Sean? Yeah, no, we can start with that. So, yeah, I was wrong about that one. And I think many of us probably were. I mean, the Vegas odds were what they were because Sean was a big underdog. But holy crap, dude. Crazy. And apparently he was injured for that too. So apparently he was injured. He hadn't wrestled in like 6 weeks, and he had like some kind of rib injury. So that's why he was so cautious in the first round and just like checking out the timing and everything like that. So it's almost like that was the only way that he actually could have won, and he pulled it off. It's like, it's kind of crazy. I'm gonna be honest. That is pretty wild. So kudos to Sean, man, and I mean his stock is just gonna continue to rise. We'll see where he goes from here. There are a lot of good opponents for him. A couple of rematches with people he's recently beat. It's interesting. But shout out to Sean, man. That was an impressive performance, to say the least. Okay, let's look at this article about Blue Beetle. We'll start with some of the bad news, then we'll get into some of the more hype stuff with Ahsoka, etc., etc., okay? All right. So... okay. What I said before in different streams and on social media is the one thing that I can do for Blue Beetle, as opposed to the other 6 consecutive bombs that have come out of DC. The one thing I can do for Blue Beetle is just not dance on its grave in the same way that I did The Flash, in the same way that I did Shazam 2. So, we're going to try to talk about this respectfully, because I've heard it's decent. And to be honest with you, it's probably not anybody's fault that's really involved in the movie that it is doing as badly as it is. However, let's not put our head in the sand. Let's not pretend this isn't happening. This is the worst ever DC EU superhero box office opening overseas. Possibly the second worst, maybe domestic. Because I know it's lower than Shazam 2. Probably not lower than, what was the Birds of Prey, maybe? I don't know. So here we go. Let's get into this. Blue Beetle has faced the lowest ever overseas box office opening in the DC Extended Universe. The DC EU has been having a rough run at the box office, with its latest movie, The Flash, being one of the biggest flops in Hollywood history. The blockbuster came as a third miss in a row for the DC EU, after Black Adam and Shazam suffered similar disappointing fate for Warner Bros. Discovery. Going into Blue Beetle, the penultimate movie to come from the old DC regime ahead of Aquaman 2. Oh man, Aquaman 2. How excited are y'all for Aquaman 2? Let me know. History was projected to repeat itself, with analysts expecting a 12 to 17 domestic opening. Blue Beetle suffers awful box office opening. According to the box office expert Luis Fernando, the Warner Brothers distributed Blue Beetle suffered the worst ever opening for a DC movie overseas, with an estimated $18 million across 61 markets in its 5 days, coming in well below the disastrous Shazam! Fury of the Gods and pre-pandemic release of Wonder Woman 1984. Warner Bros.' latest DC movie just topped up by a $25 million domestic budget, bringing the worldwide total, or debut rather, bringing the worldwide total for Blue Beetle to $43.4 million. Wow. Of the international opening, 2.1 million came from Brazil, 2.7 came from Mexico, where many expect the movie to find success due to its Latin focus. The international opening set a new low for the DCEU, taking in less than Shazam 2's $34.6 million over 77 markets, and Wonder Woman 1984's $38.5 million in just 39 due to the pandemic. Comparing Blue Beetle to other DC releases, The Flash opened with $75 million. Across 78 markets, and Black Adam took in $75.9 million in 76 markets. Warner Bros.' potential losses on Blue Beetle will be mitigated by its low production, which is apparently only $104 million, making the film one of the DC's cheapest next to 2019 Shazam. So, here we go. James Gunn declared that Zolo, I do not know how to pronounce this guy's name. I've heard people pronounce it like many different ways. Is it Zolo? Somebody help me out in chat. He talked about how this guy was the first character in the DCU, indicating he will be sticking around after the upcoming reboot. So one has to wonder whether this will remain the case now that his debut movie has failed to attract much attention from audiences. Sholo. Okay, Sholo. Gotcha. As the one condition for Blue Beetle 2 to happen ahead of the first movie's release was for it to make money. The chances of a sequel now appear slim, but that doesn't necessarily doom the chances of Jamie Reyes finding his way into the new universe, even if that only comes through other characters' projects. Then again, maybe the character will have a stronger chance once the reboot has taken place. Many of the DC's latest movies seem to be suffering due to the promise of an impending reboot, essentially meaning these stories simply won't matter in the long run, as they will all be erased after this year. Yeah. DC suffering its fourth disappointment in a row only spells trouble for the final movie of the year, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Expectations were already low for the Jason Momoa sequel, but its odds of success now feel even lower despite its predecessor making over $1 billion. Woo! Wow, ladies and gentlemen. That is not good. I believe, too, even though they don't specifically mention this in this article, I believe Blue Beetle came in under expectations. It was already expected to perform pretty badly, and it came in under expectations. So what's going on with Blue Beetle? What's going on with DC? Why is this happening? Well, as I've said many times, probably because they were talking about a fucking reboot with a whole year's worth of movies still slated to come out. I think that's a big part of the problem. But it's not just that. It, can't be just that. It's also the fact that, DC in general has been so shitty and so disconnected for so long. And it just, I think you just got to ask yourself, why would you expect people to go see this movie, right? Because apparently, guys, this movie was supposed to come out on streaming. okay? And I don't know if this was specifically a James Gunn decision or if this was like Zaslav or whatever, but they decided to put it out in theaters. And look, I know it feels weird to like put a movie straight to streaming, and in a lot of ways that is probably like a bad look. But I think putting this movie in streaming was probably a better move. I feel like you might have had the Prey effect. And what I mean is, you know, when Prey went straight to Hulu, the buzz on that movie was pretty wild. I think it's like one of Hulu's biggest movies ever, which is a nice little thing to be able to, you know, put out on your social medias. But the narrative online was like, wow, damn, this movie's actually pretty good. And also incredibly accessible due to the fact that it was just on streaming. I got Hulu to watch Prey. I don't know how many of you guys got Hulu to watch Prey, but I got Hulu to watch it, and I've had Hulu ever since. So it was a success in that regard. It's a good movie. We're hearing that Blue Beetle is a good movie, right? But I feel like you got to sort of just read the room a little bit. Like, I just don't understand, like, what's the draw to go see, you know, Blue Beetle? And you could say representation, and that's totally fine. Like, that's, by the way, I'm not one of those people that thinks that's a totally illegitimate thing. But also just look at the evidence. It's clearly not the thing that's going to get a lot of motherfuckers to pay attention to your movie. Like, that's just what it is, right? We could talk about this like adults. Totally cool if that's your draw. Also pretty obvious it's not 4 quadrant. Okay? What's the draw besides that? It's the first character in the DCU. But is it though? Because I mean, like, we were talking about Shazam, and Zachary Levi's like, well, Peter Safran's my buddy, so I'll never give him a Christmas card ever again if I'm not in the DCU. Here we go. You know, like that kind of shit. It clearly didn't work for Shazam. It clearly didn't work for this movie. Guys, like, I don't think making the value proposition of an old regime movie based on the idea that, like, oh, this reboot's not total, so some of this might come through. Like, it's just obviously not connecting with audiences. It doesn't feel great. You know, say what you will about Marvel, and I will say a lot about Marvel because, I mean, Marvel's in a crazy tailspin of a very rough situation. But they still have a big audience. And not only do they have a big audience, they have a big potential audience. I mean, look at Guardians 3. Guardians 3 proves that it's not like the Marvel audiences have like completely checked out to the point where they're not going to go back out to the movie theater. It's just that they're trying to figure out which one of these Marvel movies is like actually worth my time. And when they make that judgment call, they show up, you know? And even Quantumania, which is like, again, one of the worst pieces of garbage I have ever put in front of my eyes. By the way, small side note here. Small side note. I want to give a shout out to Mauler. Okay. I don't watch a lot of like Mauler's stuff or whatever, but I saw a video pop up that he did a 6-hour video ripping apart Quantumania. And I'm like 2 hours into it. It's fantastic. And it's very cathartic for me because this is, again, a movie that literally made me understand assisted suicide. It is horrible. It is very, very bad. It shook me to my core. And so I'm really enjoying that 6-hour video that he put out, absolutely destroying it. And I'm like reliving all the things, like, because remember, like, when we came out of that movie and I did one of the streams and I was like, guys, this is one of the worst edited movies I've ever seen in my life, to the point where, like, beyond just being jarring, it was infuriating. But regardless of all that, my point is that movie still made $500 million, dude. Like, and that's horrible for Marvel. That's really bad. It caused them to get rid of Victoria and make all kind of changes. But the point is, like, it's totally different. Marvel still has huge cachet with audiences. Marvel still has the ability to turn this all around, and Marvel's still going to have massive movies for the next 10 years, almost regardless of what they do. That's sort of like an earned brand reputation. And a lot of that has to do with normies. And DC doesn't do that. DC has the opposite of that. DC has a completely fractured fan base that has completely turned off most normies. It's like really, really bad. Okay? Now, I don't know how much this movie bombing is going to actually affect Warner Brothers and actually affect Superman Legacy. I've had some people say, dude, this is like bad to the point where even Gunn has to be looking at this and being like, bro, what the fuck, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like he's probably just going to completely disassociate with it. He'll walk back the Sholo thing and whatever. Or maybe Sholo will still arrive later on in that universe. I guess the next big question is, what's the deal with Aquaman 2? And from what we've heard, Aquaman 2 is a bunch of goobly glop. Okay? You had people literally walking out of screenings. That usually doesn't happen. So you got people walking out of screenings, bro. Okay? You got the star of that movie basically spoiling that he's a new character in the reboot. The highest grossing franchise of the entire shared universe. And the star was excited to let that die on the vine and be a new character. That's where we're at, right? So Aquaman 2 is going to bomb in embarrassing fashion. I don't know if they should even release it. I don't know if they can write it down. I don't know exactly how that works. But wow, wee-wah is DC in an absolute tailspin. Now, luckily, they don't have any more DCEU projects, right? So I believe next year you're just getting Joker 2. I don't think you're getting the Batman Part 2, but you're at least not going to get a whole year of bombs and headlines and discourse and drama. And if James Gunn can just get off, dude, Creature Commandos, that is such a fucking horrible idea to do an animated, stupid spin-off, bullshit-ass show to launch your shared universe, but then claim that it's actually going to launch with Superman a year later in a big film. It's not a good idea. But hopefully that'll just go completely under the radar and nobody will give a fuck about that. My point is, it's good that they're getting some space after this because this shit is not working, bro. And it is literally just destroying the brand further and further. Can James Gunn turn this around? I don't fucking think so. Moving right along. Okay, let's talk about Ahsoka. Let's talk about Ahsoka. I saw some people talking about this when we started the stream, and I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. Yes, I'm going to do that same thing I always do. And I would like to know your personal hype level for the Ahsoka show. Out of 10, where you at? Where's your hype level out of 10 for Ahsoka? Okay, you're going too fast. Hang on. Okay, 11, 10, 69. Nice. 10, 9, 11, 10, 8, 9. Minus 3. Oh, shit. 6, 8, 10, 11, 6.9, 10, 7, 9, 7, 8, 11, 7, 9. It seems pretty high, man. A strong 4. Right on. 2 out of 10. Okay. 3. Damn. There's some super high ones. There's some super low ones. Okay, where to begin with Ahsoka? Where to begin with Ahsoka? So, there've been, like I said, there have been world premieres and there have been press screenings. Now, because of the strike, they didn't have like a traditional world premiere thing. They had more like a creator come to Disneyland or, you know, in various theaters kind of a thing. Now, it's sort of curious. Like, I wonder how that's going to end up working for them. It definitely popped last week. It was trending a couple of times and I saw a lot of buzz. Most of the reactions are very positive. Okay. Most of them are incredibly positive. So, you know, a lot of praise for the fun, a lot of praise that it feels like Rebels, a lot of praise that the characters feel the same, a lot of praise. Okay. There are some people out there that have been a little bit negative about the show. And I want to start with one of my favorite Brits. And by the way, guys, don't go give Paul a bunch of crap for this. Don't go do that thing that Star Wars fans always do and be unable to accept that somebody doesn't like something and fucking yell at them about it. Don't do that thing. I don't condone it. I don't want you to do it. Okay, now let's look at what the spoiler man has to say. Okay, let's look at what the spoiler man has to say. I got to see the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Thought it was okay, but not the home run I was hoping for. Man, when I read that, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I felt my stomach drop. And the reason is because Paul and I usually are on the same page. Okay? We're 2 people that both realize that Multiverse of Madness is an absolute masterpiece, one of the best movies ever created in the MCU. We're also both people that thought Quantum Mania should be Men in Blacked from our brains, and we're willing to sign waivers and take experimental pills to try to make that happen. It was fucking horrible. So for a long time, Paul and I have been on the same page about a lot of this shit. And the home run I was hoping for, I mean, here's a question for you. Does it feel like I'm hoping Ahsoka will be a home run? What do you think? Do you think, does it seem like, I don't know, maybe I am looking for Ahsoka to be a home run? What do you think? Yes or no? Do you think what? Okay, let's read on. Still early days, but after a really strong opening in episode 1, it drags quite a bit. They also do the same thing they did with Luke/Indy, where they have some issues happen to characters off screen before the show starts to make it so they begin in the opposite place to where we left them at the end of Rebels, which is getting a bit tired. What? What the hell's that about? Like, I legitimately don't even know, and I know all the leaks. I think I know what he's talking about here, but I am not 100% sure. Like, I just don't know, okay? And again, I don't condone you spamming this post with a bunch of American flags. I definitely don't condone you, just don't do any of that. Don't attack Paul for his opinions, even though he is British. Okay. So I'm not even sure what this means, to be honest with you, but I don't like it. He says, think the pacing would have been better if we just hit the ground running instead of heading to the inevitable place it's going to go with getting the band back together. Whew. Good cinematography, action, and performances, just not in love with it as I was hoping to be. Should we see how the Star Wars... I mean, traditionally, Star Wars fans are really understanding of this sort of stuff, and they're really kind, When I rejected Andor completely and said it wasn't Star Wars, well, it was such a good time, man. I had so many nuanced conversations exploring the ideas of what Star Wars means to us all. Let's see how it's going here. Let's see here. Bruh, I almost always agree with you, but I couldn't disagree more. I had 0 problems with the pacing, and it feels way more focused. Star Wars superfans are going to go insane for this. Okay, that's good. Q Den of Nerds rant. Oh, shit, they knew. Oh, Fatal J says, this means it sucks, sir. Uh-oh. Reported. I don't know why. I just can't deal with this possibility. That's perfect, dude. That's a perfect Star Wars fan response. Oh, I've actually reported you. Amazing, dude. Pulls out the copium pills for everyone. There you go. So Disney doing the same old tired hero formula. Oh, interesting. First of all, congrats on getting to see it early. That's a weird thing to say. Second, sounds like Disney being Disney. Does anyone actually accept it's only the first episode? Give it time to get good argument. Yeah, that's worked out real well for past projects. Ooh, interesting. See, there's a lot of negativity on this post. And look, here's the deal. There's a lot of negativity out there for Star Wars right now, guys. And I know, we don't love talking about this sort of stuff, but I think we need to with Ahsoka, because the big question is like, is this going to fix things? And maybe I'm putting too much on the show. Maybe my expectations are a little crazy. But I can't help but feel the way that I feel. I do want it to be a home run. In fact, here's what I said about it. I said, Paul and I usually have similar tastes, and I've heard others say the first episode drags a bit, so this is a bit concerning. Probably best to try to curb your expectations if you can. Oh, I can't do that, as I need this show to save Star Wars for me, etc., etc. Oh my fucking god, I'm so scared, but what? So happy, what the fuck? So that's how I feel, okay? Guys, like I said at the beginning of the stream, in a lot of ways, this is it, okay? And, maybe it's a little bit unfair to Dave. Maybe it's a little unfair to Rosario. Maybe it's a little unfair for this show, but this is where Star Wars is at. This is, I think, maybe one of the last chances Star Wars has to show fans and would-be fans, were fans in the past, kind of people, that they can actually create really compelling Star Wars content that feels like Star Wars, that feels like it respects George's vision and stories, and doesn't just feel like a corporately controlled product. And I guess, we're going to all see and find out together. I'm incredibly nervous that I'm not going to love it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm incredibly nervous that I'm not going to love it. And I'm even more nervous that the show's going to underperform. And that the show won't be this big heralded success that we all want it to be. And I mean, I guess I wonder, like, if you look out there, guys, just in, on the internet and just within different circles and how people are, what do you guys see? Do you think this is a very exciting, like, hyped up show? Do you expect this show to do really well? Do you think a lot of people are going to check it out tomorrow night? Is that what you're seeing out there? Or no? Yoda says, Star Wars is dead to me. Ahsoka's like an epic moment with the Titanic split, but it's still over. Good Star Wars content into exile it went. Interesting. I've seen so many Ahsoka billboards, it's kind of crazy. 2-episode drop does worry me. Was it always going to be 2-episode premiere? No, probably not. And I mean, like, frankly, they probably looked at that first episode and said, yeah, we could use a little more. Which is ironic because that's Dave's episode. And it's a longer episode. And, people are saying that it kind of drags or whatever, and that the second one really kind of gets into it. So it's very possible, in fact, pretty likely, that that's why we're getting 2 episodes. You know what I mean? The show is definitely going to underperform. Folks are sick of Disney shit and Disney Plus in general. I mean, as strange as it seems, I do think there's some truth to that, because I think even Secret Invasion, like I'm still kind of shocked about what happened with Secret Invasion. I'm trying to process it myself because, look, I thought the show was garbage, but I didn't think it was so much worse than a lot of the other stuff we've gotten in Phase 4. And the reactions from Secret Invasion are crazy. Like, the negativity for the MCU is at an all-time high. It's really bad. So that, of course, also spills over to Star Wars because they're sort of uniquely connected in the sense that they're both these Disney-controlled properties that have been putting out a bunch of bullshit on Disney Plus. That's just what it is. Like, I have no defense for what they've done. It's been really fucking bad, right? So, depending on how these first 2 episodes go and where it goes from there, I think it's very possible that if the show continues to get better and better, it ends up really attracting more people and becoming a success and people really love it. That might not happen, though, until the back 4 episodes, because it is kind of like what Paul's describing. as far as like we know it's about getting the band back together. I do feel that you're gonna get some stuff with that, and basically you're not gonna like totally get everybody together and looking for Ezra until episode 5, because the show is split into like a 4-part and a 4-part. You know what I mean? But I think the back half of this season is like where the juice is at. And I still think you're going to get some really good stuff in the first 4 episodes. And, you know, there's a lot of lightsaber combat, a lot of stuff about the Force, a lot of crazy stuff. And I think maybe in episode 4, you'll get like that World Between Worlds stuff and a lot of the rumored Anakin stuff. And that'll be great. But once we get into episode 5, I think the show is going to really take off and do something special. So around that time, you know, we'll see. Because it could end up being a scenario in which they've done everything they can, and this is like the perfect Star Wars show, but that the brand damage is just too bad and they can't overcome it. And that would be very sad. Like, man. And that's why I'm saying, like, I am really nervous. I'm really excited. You know, tomorrow night we're going to do the watch party. I can't wait. Tomorrow's crazy. I got 3 streams tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I got the Nerdventure stream. We're going to stream Gamescom and talk about Rebel Moon. And then we're doing the watch party late at night. So it's going to be wild. But that's why I'm nervous. And there's a lot of people, bro. Like, a lot of people out there want Ahsoka to fail. I know that seems crazy, but that's where we're at, bro. And so, you know, we'll just see. We'll just see. I mean, I can say for me that it will absolutely break my heart. Like, if I really don't enjoy that first episode, that's going to be very tough. That's going to be very tough. Now, again, I don't want to paint this like complete doom scrolling kind of idea here, because that's not what I think is going to happen. I just want to say that there are some people saying it's not what they thought it would be. And I think there is a lot of disgruntlement in the Star Wars fandom and on social media in general. So the show's going to have to overcome a lot. I think it can. But we're just going to see. And we're going to see together. And I think this is... I mean, this is it. This really is it for Star Wars. Because if this show fails badly, if people really don't like what Dave did, or nobody really cares, you know, because it's possible it's an incredible show and people just don't care. And if that is what we're looking at, cancel everything. Cancel everything. Like, cancel all the movies. You need to rethink everything, because this is, I think, the guy, bro. Like, this is the guy. This is Dave. And if he can't pull big numbers, and if he can't do Star Wars that works at a commercial level, satisfies the fans, wrap it up, because it is over. As far as what they're doing right now, it is over, you know? So, we're going to see. We're going to see. Am I doing a watch party? Yeah, I'm doing a watch party, man. I'll be live tomorrow, probably 8:30, you know? Read some positive reviews. I mean, I did a whole video about the positive reviews. Guys, there are a lot of people very excited about the show. One of the things that I found that was very unique was Charles Murphy, who is usually very critical of things, right? He really liked the first episode, and he said he thought Dave Filoni was getting really, really good. I've also seen, you know, I thought Christian Harloff's review of it was really positive, man. He absolutely loved it. He thought it was incredible. He thought it was like way better than even what we had been getting in Mando. So that's great. I think a lot of Star Wars fans that saw it, especially if they're Rebel fans, they loved it, bro. They loved it. And it's absolutely fair to point that out. But here's the problem with that. Who saw the shows? What are we talking about here? We're talking about like super fans. We're talking about people that were probably personally selected by Lucasfilm. People that thought Book of Boba Fett was good. No offense. It's cool if you thought Book of Boba Fett was good. It was horseshit. So we've got a lot of people out there. Like, I can't look out there in a sea of positive Star Wars fans and be like, oh, dude, we're good. Like, we're good. It's going to be fine. This shit's dope. Everybody loves it. I mean, yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. You know? So, although there's a lot of positivity about that, although I'm very excited about the show, especially when I'm seeing Paul say this, and there were other people that said this as well. Yeah, it's just a little bit concerning. I'm super nervous, man. I mean, Harloff is pretty critical of Star Wars. Is Harloff pretty critical of Star Wars? What do you think, chat? Do you think Christian Harloff is very critical of Star Wars? I don't think I would agree with that statement. To be fair, it's not like I watch Christian every day. I don't really watch his content because we're making content usually around the same time. But I don't think I would say Christian is critical of Star Wars. Like, for instance, like, what did Christian think of Book of Boba Fett? What did he think of Kenobi? I know he liked Andor, which is fine. I know a lot of people like Andor. It's fine. Why? Because he likes Andor? No, I just said it. It's fine. He thought it was... he didn't like both. Okay. 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 He didn't... Okay. Okay. Why? Oh, you're talking about why he got screeners? No, I mean, like, look, the real story of that, guys, is like, I've even had people that worked at Lucasfilm reach out to me and say, you can absolutely get screeners, you know, go through this process, etc. I'm not interested. I want zero association with the studio. Zero. I don't want any screeners. No, thank you. I don't want any, like, I don't want to work with them in any way, shape, or form. So that I can have the freedom to be like, Kathleen Kennedy seems... Never mind. I'm not going to say what I have the freedom to say things. Okay? Let's just leave it there. We're trying to be more positive today. I was going to literally like say something about how she's doing a very bad... Let's just say this. She's doing a very bad job. She's a rather off-putting human being. And I think maybe some kind of dark sorcerer from a different dimension that has Horcruxes, because why the fuck else is she still running that company? It is ridiculous. Okay? So, I want to be able to say things like that, and then also say that maybe it would be better if she had a BBL. Okay? I want to be able to say that. So I don't do the screeners. Does that mean I'm bad at my job? Probably. Probably. But, you know, we want to, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chris Gore does that with his access. You know, that is interesting. There are some people out there that I think really do, like, still get the access and do a good job of trying to be fair. Yeah, I'm just not interested, man. You know what I mean? Not interested whatsoever. Look, I get pretty wild in some of the streams, and I say some pretty crazy shit on Twitter, and I just never, ever want to be in a situation where they're like, here's the thing. I don't want to build a system for the channel where I'm engaged with the studio, and all of a sudden they can remove that if I said something and then throw off my ability to make the content. You know what I mean? Like, no, thank you. Like, I just really don't want that. So I choose to just not be involved whatsoever. Also because I talk about spoilers, and I know they really don't like that. So I just want to be able to talk about that if I want to talk about it. Okay. All right, guys. There's a little bit of Marvel stuff that we can talk about. I think somebody in chat just said there's a little Rebel Moon teaser trailer. Is that true? Was there a little Rebel Moon teaser trailer out there? Where's that at? Rebel Moon. Aw, shit. Here we go. Teasing the trailer tomorrow, huh? Aw, shit. Here we go. Let's check this out. Hang on. Shrink that down a little bit. Turn up the volume.
What do you think they want?
Everything.
True teaser. True teaser.
What do you think they want?
Everything.
That's so cool. They also broke down the two names of the films because it's two movies, right? Let me see if somebody's probably talking about. Yeah, right here. So part 1 this year, part 2 is coming out next year. So you got Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, and then Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver. And I like that name a lot, Scar Giver. So I'm obviously really excited for Rebel Moon. I've been talking about it a lot, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow when the trailer's out, and I'm gonna make a big video after the trailer comes out, just talking about like everything we know about the show so far. But I really do think that we're probably looking at a potential next Star Wars, a potential next huge IP, and it has a lot of the stuff that I love. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Zach and everything like that, but it has a lot of like Warhammer influences in it. I mean, there's even a character named Belisarius Crawl. Or probably just Belisarius. There's, crazy old ancient AIs and Imperium and Emperor, like all these crazy things. So I'm quite excited for it. It's also a pitch that he had that he was going to make as a Star Wars movie. So pretty interesting that we're going to get Star Wars and Ahsoka, and legitimately probably its last big chance to have a huge success and to show that the brand can turn around and be very successful again. And then we have maybe the next Star Wars, which could replace it. If Star Wars really can't deliver with Ahsoka, if Star Wars just can't deliver in general, other big franchises like this can come out there and can do some serious damage and can be the new thing that people are excited about. So I'm incredibly excited for Rebel Moon and what we're gonna get tomorrow. It's gonna be pretty cool. I guess we could talk a little bit about just a few little Marvel stories out there. Let's see what we got with Marvel, man. Ghost Rider project in development. We've been hearing about that for years. Oh, the Thor 5 stuff. Ugh. Should we talk about this a little? Okay. So according to My Time to Shine, Thor 5 is in development at Marvel Studios. Unfortunately, there's a good chance Taika Waititi will return to direct, but it's not a done deal. I'd like to see someone like Sam Hargrave doing it. He'll make a badass Thor movie, okay? Now, just to be, transparent here, Variety came out and kind of debunked this report from My Time to Shine. Variety made a point to say Thor 5 is not in development in their article about Taika's comments. Also, I feel very strongly these Taika quotes were him talking about Thor 4 in the press cycle. He said multiple times he used gore because he wanted a villain as formidable as Hela. Quote below allegedly reference to Thor 5. What is left to do to him? It's got to be something that feels like it's carrying on with the evolution of the character, but still in a very fun way and still giving him things to come up against that feel like they're building on the obstacles that he has overcome. I don't think we can have a villain that's weaker than Hela. I feel like we need to step up from there and add villain that's somehow more formidable. It's from a book about Love and Thunder, so it could definitely just apply to that film. And it originally went viral after a Screen Rant article, which isn't the best outlet in the world at double checking its facts. Variety article, it's also possible they misunderstood or they're just piggybacking off of Screen Rant's article. Okay. So again, you've got it was a Screen Rant article, then you got a Variety article, you've got My Time to Shine talking about it, and then you've got what was it, Deadline? Variety then sort of debunking that, okay? I saw this blow up all over the internet. I'm sure you guys saw a lot of it as well. So let's just start by asking the very basic question that we all already know the freaking answer to. Should Taika Waititi do Thor 5? What do you think, guys? Yes or no? Put it into the chat. Should Taika Waititi do Thor 5? Let's turn the air conditioning on in here a little bit. It's hot as fuck. Yeah, so no one wants that, bro. Like, I think I've seen a few people want it, and there's like a few of those people on Twitter that like have that attitude of like, well, the whole world's going this way, but I don't know why. I love going this way. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know if it's just contrarian people or if like certain people just have the personality to be like, well, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like the well, actually people, right? Well, actually, Taika would be incredible and blah, 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 right? But most of us, man, are like, fuck no. Are you kidding me? I don't honestly ever want to see a Taika Waititi movie ever again. Sorry, Taika. It is what it is, bro. You took one of the coolest villains from Marvel Comics, and you took an arc that you had a fucking chance to, like, end the MCU debate and actually, like, deliver a nuanced, incredible character story with Natalie Portman, who I think a lot of fans like, and you could have like changed the whole narrative of like the girl boss bullshit that's happening, and you did the most uncompelling vanilla story I've ever seen in my fucking life. Is horrible, dude. Love and Thunder is horrible. So most of us are like, hell nah. You know what I mean? So nah, man, like please no. And maybe this is just one of the situations where, you know, you've got a lot of fans talking about something, and maybe Marvel will pay attention. You know what I mean? Like, I really could not see them. I just can't see it. Like, I can't see them bringing Taika back, man. Like, unless they like addressed it head on, like Taika was like, yeah, so you didn't like the last one, but we got you on this one, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Let's talk about one more thing briefly. And then, like, maybe we'll launch my comic. Maybe we should do Q&A first. I don't know. It's up to you guys. It's up to you. Okay, let's talk about this. I'm going to do a whole video on this, but I want to briefly talk about this with you. Okay. This comes from Can We Get Some Toast? Says here, the writing's on the wall. Avengers Secret Wars is very likely setting up a soft reboot of the entire MCU. Kind of like what The Flash did for the DCU. God. I can't believe that sentence. It makes me want to throw up. It'll be a send-off for not only the entirety of the Foxverse, but the MCU that we've all grown to love. In the aftermath will be all new, all different MCU. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. So before I give my, what are you guys' thoughts? What do you think? Before I give my thoughts, what do you think? What's your take on this? I'd much prefer Thanos to kill them off. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Sheesh. That's a good reaction. Sheesh. Kang wins. Dumb. I support this. I'm going smooth-brained for this. They're just doing random shit at this point. Seems about right. That's a lot to unpack. Don't compare something to The Flash. I know, right? I mean, it seems like that's the direction that we're headed. Yeah. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Let's see here. That's interesting. Didn't someone say they heard Marvel was trying to sign Hugh to a multi-deal? Yeah, that's out there. I'm here for it. Bound to happen. I've seen no compelling argument for a reboot. What's the point? They've already introduced new characters. Bring back a new Cap for what? He's not that good of a character. Well, you're fucking wrong about that. What do you mean by all new, all different? Like the comics? Oh, God, I hope not. And I'll explain in a second. Come on, Dr. Doom. I'm down for that. The Dark Lord... Revan says, Rebel Moon looks generic sci-fi forbiddable movie, to be honest. Well, just come back tomorrow after that trailer. Let's see if you're still talking that same tune after the trailer tomorrow. You mother sucker. Can We Get Some Toast is cringe. Oh, yes. Can We Get Some Toast is maybe one of the cringiest individuals on the planet, but that's why they're hiding behind an Anon account. Because they're a cringy, stupid, horrible, gross, smelly, like a fucking Reddit deep dive, gross person. Yeah. Josh, if this is true, it makes me wonder, Disney Marvel unaware that it would be more the cast that made the movies, not just the characters? Okay, let me give you my take on this. So like I said, I'm doing a whole video on this. I'm going to really, really dive into this in the video. But there's multiple ways to interpret this. Heavy spoilers, Paul, our good friend, in his big video about Secret Wars about a year ago, he said that he had heard that there would be a consolidated 616 after Secret Wars. Okay? So what he said was, you might get some of the Fox X-Men characters to actually come into the MCU fully. You might even get some of the Sony characters like Tom Hardy's Venom finally just arriving in the MCU wholly, completely. And I always thought that was kind of weird. I was like, I don't know about that. Like, how are they going to do that? That's really weird. I don't know. That feels off. And so maybe that's what it is. Maybe instead of like all new, all different Marvel, they're going to reboot. They're going to recast some characters like maybe Iron Man, Captain America, T'Challa, and then, kind of have like a different version of the Avengers lead up. Okay? So that could be what it is, and that's not too bad, right? Like, that's not the worst, and I could see a scenario in which that's like kind of like cool. Because one of the things I've thought a lot about lately was like, it's a damn shame that we don't get to see some of the newer characters interacting with some of the older characters. Meaning like, we're about to get Reed Richards. It's crazy we're not getting Reed Richards with Spider-Man, with Iron Man. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy that we're not getting the X-Men with these characters as well. Like, why? Dude, the fact that we don't get, like, Cap and Cyclops, that's a very interesting dynamic. The fact that we don't get Cap and Wolverine, like, weird. Charles Xavier not being in the Illuminati, Beast not being there. Like, there's a lot of, like, weird stuff that happens that we just are cut off to. And I think in early days of the MCU, there was this magical element where it wasn't just about seeing the characters of the movies. It was also seeing how a live action version of this character would actually work. And so in the same way that people will line up for the new Batman movie or the new Superman movie, and there's a part of it that's like, what is this version and how is this adaptation of this comic book character into live action? Like, how is this going to work? And they really have lost that. So I could see an argument for like setting things back and having the entire MCU be with these actors, some new actors, and literally telling the story from the beginning, from bringing the Avengers together for some kind of crazy threat and having them deal with stuff, and that could actually work. But the problem is this. All new, all different Marvel is horrible. It didn't sell well. It actually did an incredible amount of brand damage, and all of the versions of those characters that are already in the MCU are failing. Like, they're all failing. Like, we're going to see how the Marvels does, but the Miss Marvel show was like, nobody watched it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Bad show. Not a great start to Sam being Cap. You know? So, like, I don't know, man. Like, why would you do all new, all different? I mean, Jane Foster Thor, I just said, was absolute trash. Should have been cool, but it was trash. So I don't know that, like, all new, all different Marvel is the direction. And if they really do that, like, if that's really what they're trying to do, that would be ass. Unless they bring back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. And in my opinion, like, that's what you got to do, man. You need to just bring those characters back. And not just for Secret Wars. Those need to be the characters for the MCU moving forward. So, it's interesting. We'll see what's happening. You know, I also... Charles Murphy did a big Q&A recently. And he kind of admitted that things are shakier than ever over at Marvel. They're less certain than ever. They're moving things around more than ever. They don't know what to do with Wanda. They don't even have a story for Wanda moving forward. Like, they have ideas, but they don't have a story for Wanda moving forward, which is why I think Wanda's being kind of... They're pulling back a little bit on Wanda, and they're probably just going to focus on Doc Strange and all that, right? You know, Charles said he thinks Thunderbolt sounds horrible. You know, there's also all these stories of like, oh, well, they were going to do a Nova movie or a show, and now they're backtracking on that. They were going to do Midnight Suns, but now they're backtracking on that. They were going to do, oh, God, there's like a whole bunch of things that like they were working on that they're backtracking on. You know? And that's because, like, I think they're in complete disarray. I think they are in a complete tailspin, and they're trying to figure their way out of it. For me, it's like the reboot isn't really going to be the deciding factor there. It's like, figure your shit out, man. Like, figure it out. Take it back to being about the characters. Bring back the dope characters we like. And go through the multiverse saga. And then maybe, like, you know, you don't even need a soft reboot. You could just be better. You know what I mean? But, yeah, it's definitely worth talking about because it's really interesting. Like I said, I'll do a big video kind of breaking it all down. But, yeah, quite an interesting time to be a Marvel fan. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all the news I want to talk about. What do you guys think we should do now? Should we get into some Q&A? Should we try to launch this Kickstarter campaign? What should we do here? I was trying to do a thing where... Let me just see something. Let me just see something here. If I put this link into the chat, and you guys click that link, what do you see? What is it? Where does it take you? Do you see the project? It takes you to login, yes, but after you log in, what does it show you? It just takes you to the homepage. Is that what somebody's saying? Interesting. So that just makes you log in. Okay. It's the homepage. Okay, well, Fucking sucks. That doesn't do any good for us. Okay. Let me see here. There should be a way. How do I launch this thing? How do I even do it? Hang on. Okay. Okay. Going through some stuff here. Okay. We're all good on this. Okay. Okay, but hang on. Okay, it's been approved. I'm ready to launch. All right. See what happens. Okay. Now, this is kind of a big deal. Okay. I'm going to launch the project. Okay, project is live. Now, I'll put the link in the chat, and we'll go over some of this, and I'll explain what's going on, okay? How do I share? Project short link. The fuck? Why can't I just, like, get a link to it? Where's the link? Does this go to it? Is that the link? Does that get you there? Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Okay, let's go check this out. Let's go look at this together. Okay. Now, this is a big deal for me, man. But let's check it out together, okay? Now, look, we are going for a big amount. It's a very ambitious project, okay? So we're going for 50 grand to get this project funded. But let's watch this video, and it'll explain what's going on, okay? Josh, for the past 6 years, I've been making YouTube videos about Marvel, Star Wars, and other nerdy things. But before that, I was actually in the comic book industry. I did 2 successful crowdfunding campaigns in the past for a couple of my books, including Moros, A Hard-Boiled Hero, and Robin Hood, Eon's Edge. And I was also the editor-in-chief of an imprint called Red Band, where I literally helped create 5 different titles. That was it. Pretty cool. The truth is, I walked away from comics a long time ago despite loving the process of creating these stories, and I did that to go pursue YouTube. Now, that worked out, but now I want to come back to comics, and there's a story I've been working on for years, and I'm so damn excited that it's finally time to do this Kickstarter campaign. Here's a little preview for this comic called Unity.
I was there when it happened.
We've seen this before, but I'll let it run.
Golden light beamed down from the sky, giving humanity a great gift. Suddenly, the world had superheroes. 6 months later, we had war. After just a few weeks, it became clear no one would win this war. The gifted would destroy the world. And so, the world leaders met and devised a plan. The Unity Corps was formed, and all gifted were forced to turn themselves in. But there was resistance, and that resistance looked like it might just destroy what was left of humanity.
I'll answer all the questions in a second here.
Then another golden miracle occurred. Midas, he called himself, an artificial being from another world. He said he was here to help, and help he did. All gifted were either imprisoned or recruited into the Unity Corps. Control was re-established and humanity was saved. It's been 30 years since the end of the war, and there has been peace. Until now.
Now, originally, I was just going to do this Kickstarter for a single issue, but recently I changed my mind and I really want to tell this big story that I came up with in 2020. So now we're doing the campaign for a 100+ page graphic novel, which is going to be split up into 5 different chapters. And because of that, this is now an incredibly ambitious project with a huge budget in mind because we want professional quality. That's where this Kickstarter comes in. That's where you come in. Kickstarter is a really cool platform and it's unique because it's going to allow us to gauge interest in this property, in this new IP, while also giving you guys the opportunity to be some of the first people ever to read this book and be a part of the journey to bring it to life. And we've got a ton of awesome reward tiers for people that back the campaign, including a digital preview that shows you just chapter 1 of this story. We've got softcover graphic novels of this story. We've got a special edition hardcover copy, and then there's even a tier for collectors, which is limited to 300, but it's going to come with a holo gold covered version of the hardcover book. You get a serialized version of an edged hoodie, 1 of 300, and it will have the number on it. And then what I think is the coolest part, 300 of you that get that collector's bundle are going to get access to a special Discord, which for the rest of time, you will be able to vote on changes and updates that are happening to the Unity story and to the Unity universe. Because this really is more than a comic. It's a new IP. It's this really cool, fresh idea that I've been working on for a long time. And I think right now, when a lot of the corporate controlled stuff that I cover on YouTube is feeling a little dull, feeling very formulaic and not delivering what fans want, I have decided to go back to comics and launch my own thing to try to satisfy those needs, to try to put fans first, and to try to deliver awesome and fresh stories. We've got an incredible team of professional caliber people, and they are all incredibly grateful that you took the time to watch this video, to check this campaign out, and we're hoping that we've earned your support.
We need more Joshes
ideas on how to
stream.
expand this campaign with some really fun stretch goals in mind, but we really want to just get funded. That is what it's about, so that we can actually get this story out there. And I also have limitless ideas of stories to tell within the Unity universe.
I recorded this earlier this morning.
The
Yeah.
entire team and myself, thank you for your time, and we hope to get your support in helping to bring Unity to life. Cool. Okay. Oh, what the hell? Okay, so a couple of different things here, and I appreciate everybody that's already back. Thank you guys so much. Let's talk about this. Okay, so a couple of different things. First of all, it is a very ambitious project. Okay, so we're going for a huge amount of money, and we're going to need your help to be able to get there. It's a big chunk of work for everybody involved in the project. Scripts are done, but we only have about, I would say, a third of the first chapter like actually finalized. So it's a lot of work for the entire team. And that just is what it is. It's a very big project. The ambition is crazy. This is something I've been working on for a long, long time. And I want to not only create this story, create this big graphic novel, but have Unity as like this cool IP that I can expand in different ways, depending on what the interest level is out there, right? Depending on how much you guys think it's cool or whatever. So I'll go over some of these things, and then I'll answer some of your guys' questions about the campaign. You know, what's the deal? What's the other? Should we do this? Should we do that? What do I, what about this? What about that? I'm sure you guys have questions, okay? So what's the story? Unity is a post-apocalyptic superhero story. After a cosmic event gives a portion of the population powers, a world war starts, which almost destroys the planet. So world leaders create the Unity Corps, a global organization created to control the superpowered people. Due to the help of an artificial human from another world, that's this golden guy, Midas, all humans with powers are imprisoned or recruited into the Unity Corps. The Unity Corps pulls humanity back from the brink of extinction, but a rebellion threatens to expose dark secrets of the Corps and send the world into chaos again. So the main thing is that the trailer and this big war that happens, that was 30 years ago from the start of the story. The story of the book, this big 100+ page, big story that we're telling, is something that when I first started writing this, I had that ending in mind of like that first arc, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool, and kind of like wrote us how to get there. So the story takes place 30 years after the war. There's a lot of like tension, and there's an inciting incident where basically like a rebellion goes out there and breaks some of these gifted people out of prison, and it sort of creates a whole series of events that take place. So here's some of the art right there for one of the pages. Obviously it's created and written by me, illustrations by Stan Yak, and colors by Robert Nugent. We also have the main cover created by Netho Diaz, which I should probably put in there. And then this is an example of it. By the way, another really important thing to bring up here. This is definitely not for kids. This is a super mature book. Probably going to have a little bit of nudity, going to have a lot of violence. I guess maybe some drug use. I don't know. People were asking me about that, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe some. I don't like. It's not a super big focus, but I could see it being a part of it. So definitely not for kids. Okay. Why Kickstarter? Okay, so because this is the launch of a new IP, Kickstarter is really unique in the way that we're going to be able to judge how into it people are, and kind of, not only get the funding to create the thing and to, distribute it, but also like get the interest gauged properly. How cool does this idea sound? Like, how into this are you, and how far should we take this? That's all going to kind of be decided in this first Kickstarter campaign. So I'm kind of into it, and I hope you guys are too. Right down here we have like the reward tier breakdown. So let me just quickly go through this for anybody that's interested. The digital preview is basically for people that are like, bro, I can't commit to buying a 100-page graphic novel until I like know what this is, right? So if you do the $10 digital preview tier, it's a great way to sort of, try some of it before you make the full commitment. And as soon as that first chapter is completed, that will be sent out to everybody. So whether you're the $10 tier or any of the other tiers, you're going to get that, okay? Tier 2 is the graphic novel, so you'll get the digital preview. You also get the soft cover version of the Unity book. Tier 3, and this is a little bit different than what I was talking to you guys about last week. Special edition is a hardcover with this. It does have the gold cover, but it's not going to be true gold. So it's not going to be that holographic gold, actual gold cover that you're going to get in the collector's tier. But a lot of people are like, oh, I want to do something special, but I don't want to do like the $200 crazy collector's tier. And I was like, no, that makes a lot of sense. We'll do a special edition, which will have behind the scenes stuff, like some extra stuff about the creation of the book and like my history in comics. So we'll put that in there. It's going to be a little bit bigger than the floppy. So that'll be for hardcover. And then of course you got the tier 4 collector's bundle. This is like, if you're kind of already bought in, if you're a super fan and you just think this shit sounds so cool and you want to support Unity and you want Unity to be as big as possible, this is the tier for you. So you get the actual gold holographic like foil version of the hardcover. You get a hoodie that will be one of 300, and it has its number actually like stitched into the hoodie. And you also get a Unity Tower access card, which is going to give you access to a Discord, where for the rest of time, the people that get this tier are going to have a vote in how things change and are updated for the Unity comic and also for the Unity universe. So a big example is like this. At the end of the first arc, going into the second arc, the question is, does the story stay on Earth? Or should the story go somewhere else without spoiling anything, okay? And it can technically work either way, so I'm going to leave that decision up to the community, to the people that are in that Discord. And they're going to basically take a vote and say, well, do we want this to be, do we want that next chapter to be on Earth, or do we want it to be out in space? You know what I mean? So here's the deal. Look, that's an expensive tier. I know times are hard right now. It's just what we had to price it at because these are very unique items that we're putting into the collector edition. It's a lot. And to be honest with you, all of this stuff is kind of a lot. It's a little bit on the expensive side. And that's because we need to have proper margins, because as we're going forward with this, because I'm really trying to gauge what the interest is, there are all sorts of options available to us. There's the option to get this book published and to have a publisher and to have some fulfillment go through a publisher. There's the option to do a fulfillment center and do stuff out of a fulfillment center. There's the option to actually start our own publishing company, get some warehouse space, and produce fully and completely on our own. So because I want to keep a lot of the options open as we go forward with this project, that's just the price point that we came up with to basically be able to be flexible with a lot of these different decisions. So it's a bit on the expensive side. The shipping is a bit on the expensive side. And so, yeah, no, I just want to be completely transparent about that because I know what it is. And yeah, so that's what it is. Do you guys have any questions? Can I help answer any questions from anybody? And I also need to turn that AC back on because holy shit. Oh my God. It's so hot. So hot right now. Where's the link? Size of the hoodies. It's a good question. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to make them different sizes. I'm not 100% sure on that. Here's the honest answer. Here's what I can tell you. I am pretty sure with that price point, I will be able to figure it out, and I will be able to get you whatever size hoodie you want. Okay? Pretty sure. Because of the price point and the margin, I am pretty confident I will be able to do that. I'm not 100%, but if I can do it, if it's in my power and we're not going to actually lose money doing it, I will do that. That's a commitment I will make to you. Yeah. What other questions? What else? When does the Unity Discord go live? Well, it kind of depends on how the campaign goes, but it's going to be after the campaign is finished. And hopefully pretty soon after, because I'd like for you guys to kind of get in there right away and be able to make some decisions and be a part of some of that stuff behind the scenes. So that's what I think. That's what I'd like to do. What else? What other questions? A 10X? Do they even make 10Xs? What is that, like a fucking parachute or something? 5-3, I need a small hoodie, my guy. We can figure it out. You're dreaming if you think RDJ is coming back. Yeah, no, I am, and he is. Plug this on Nerd Theory tonight? Oh, yes, we will do that. Unity Hot Toys landing? Here's the other thing I'll say. I have a lot of other things that I might add as items to the campaign. I wanted to start here, and it's possible because I do have some stretch goals in mind. If this thing takes off and it goes crazy, I have cool ideas on like, okay, well, let's do this, let's do that. Maybe a video game, maybe an animated series. But like, they're big goals. Those would be incredibly expensive, right? But for now, we'll leave it here. And if this doesn't, or depending on how it goes, I will add items. So like, for instance, okay, let's say we make our goal, but we want to do the stretch goal. Well, maybe then I will put in like, some hats and some shirts and some cool new things that you can add to your order. So you like add more, and then we get a little bit closer to our stretch goal. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about. For now, it's kind of bare. Why the name Unity? Well, I can't like fully explain that, but I will say that the title of Unity is somewhat ironic. But I mean, if you think about it from just like a very simple perspective, why is it called Unity? Essentially what happens is, so this event happens, everybody gets superpowers. Then there's a world war. And the gifted, that's what we call our superheroes. The gifted are so powerful and destructive that this war and just the battles they're doing basically almost destroys humanity. So humanity's like on the brink. And all of the world leaders create this thing known as the Unity Corp, and it is literally the idea of like a unified global police force that controls the superpowered people. That's what it is. You know what I mean? So that's why Unity. Action figures or plushies or statues? It's possible. I've been working with some people with some prototypes for the action figures. I wanted to just start here though. Let's just start here. Let's just gauge interest. Let's just see how this goes. We can add things. We can, so we got options. Does it feel like does it have a The Boys feel to it in regard, F the Soups? So I would actually say it's a little bit more Judge Dredd than The Boys. Okay. One of the things that's kind of cool about The Boys is like, how would superheroes fit into like classic corporate America and like that kind of a structure? There's nothing like that in Unity. Unity is more like, man, I want to be careful. I don't want to give it spoilers. Okay. But Unity is not like The Boys. It's a little bit like The Boys in the sense that there's a lot of tension, but it's more military based. It's like more like police and military based in the way that Judge Dredd is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, we're doing this campaign for 30 days, so you've got time. And I'm going to be very communicative during this whole thing. So I'm going to be updating people. I'm going to be listening to the feedback and, sharing more and more as we go along. So I gave you $1. Well, thank you, Franny. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Did you use AI to help this comic? There's no AI done in the comic. No. First of all, I just don't think the technology's there. Second of all, like, I don't know. Like, mostly I just don't think the tech is there. And also, like, it's hard to work with that technology. Like, it's already hard to work with, like, a team of human beings. But for now, it's even more difficult to, like, do it with AI. So, no. This is all human work. Are you going to do an animated movie for this comic? It's very possible. I'm not going to say yes or no. I would love to. I've talked to, people about it. I've talked to animators about it. The thing, what sucks about doing animated stuff, guys? And this probably will come as no shock to you. It's very expensive. Yeah, it's very expensive. So... Bro, Def used ChatGTP for ideas. I'll tell you this. The whole thing was written and conceived before ChatGTP was even created. So the main thing, guys, like what really happened was in 2020, I, like many of you, found myself with a lot more time on my hands. So I was like, oh, man, this is the perfect opportunity to get back to comics because I had been wanting to get back to comics for a long time. And so this is it. You know what I mean? This is how we got back in there. So a lot of the main story was written in 2020 and a lot of redrafting. So, yeah. Okay, any other questions, guys? I'll linger here for just a little bit. Then we'll get into Q&A and we'll see where the campaign is at after we finish it. I do have to put out a big tweet about this. Maybe I should I do the tweet right now and all y'all go over there and retweet it? Because that would help out, man. That would really help out if you guys shared it out on the tweeter. First thing here, does that link work? You already threw the link? I appreciate it. Does that link work that I had in there before? Okay, cool. Okay, so let's draft up this tweet here. I'm incredibly excited to announce My new comic, graphic novel. Unity, Volume 1. Is live on Kickstarter. This is a huge project. With a very ambitious goal. So we need your support. Check out the Kickstarter page. I can answer questions. Okay. Boom. There's the link. Okay. Boom. Oh, wait, what? Hang on. Hang on, guys. I might have to edit that. Fuck it. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Give it some love. I'll keep it on there. I just, like, Twitter is so stupid, bro. Like, it don't make no damn sense. Okay. Boom. There's the tweet. I'd really appreciate it. Likes and retweets and helping to spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. Helping to spread the word. And you know what? I should have just uploaded the video to it. I'll upload the video later, but yeah, we'll see where we go. Okay. Okay, any other questions before I get into Q&A? Or should we just get into Q&A? Do you get charged automatically? So I believe the way it works is you basically commit and you don't get charged until the end of the campaign, and you only get charged if we make the goal. So, yeah. Hey, thanks, brother. I appreciate that, Trinity. Yeah, so you only get charged if the campaign succeeds. So, yeah. The link isn't even visible, bro. I know! It's stupid. Oh my god, Mikey. Oh my god. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. I'll help you out with as much as I can. I'd love to do some animations, trailers, title card, free, of course. But other than that, good luck with everything. Hey, send me an email, man. Maybe I can help you out. Pin the link. I think I can do that, yeah. Pin the link. Delete the tweet and do a redo. Well, I'm going to be doing more tweets for it. You know what I mean? Let's pin that, I guess. Pin that, I guess. Yeah. Do I like the Beatles? I mean, come on, man. Who doesn't like the Beatles, bro? Come on, man. You should edit on the back end and do add-ons so we can get other covers, too. Yeah, that's something I want to do, especially... Like, look, it's the first day. Here's the truth, man. I kept talking myself out of it because I was like, no, I could get a little bit more done. I could work on the scripts more. I could polish. I could get more covers done. I could, you know... there's all sorts of, like, reasons that I was sort of, like, afraid and nervous to launch this thing. And I was basically like, yo, fuck that. And you guys really helped me out because last week we did a Nerdvenger stream and I basically talked through where I was at. And a lot of you guys were like, bro, we want you to just launch it. Like, just do it. We're excited. We're going to support. We'll do this together. So, basically just kind of took the plunge. I worked on it all weekend and got it ready. And, yeah, man, we got to get to 50K. It's going to be challenging. I think we can do it. I think we could do more. And then, yeah, I mean, it's a journey, right? Like, it's a journey together. Like, we're going to, tomorrow we have a Nerdventure stream. So wherever we're at, we're going to look at it together. We're going to be like, yo, here's where we're at. What should we do next? You know, how can we promote better? You know, whatever. Should we add some items? You know, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. How long is it open? The campaign will go for 30 days. 30 days. Yeah, so I don't know when that ends exactly, but, yeah. Hey, I'm in, boss. Got my support. Thank you so much. You're clearing 50K easy. Well, thank you. Look, it's a lot of money, and here's the thing. Times are hard right now, bro. That's the thing that I kept thinking about, too. I was like, man, like, it's tough for people right now. That's why I wanted to do, you know, the $10 tier and the floppy, you know, is as affordable as I think we can make it. So, yeah. I really appreciate you. Thank you, guys. And this could be huge for me, and this could be huge for us because, man, it would be so cool to be making some serious waves and get this thing seen by a lot of folks, and to be able to like talk about it, to watch it grow, to get this first, you know, big story in. Yeah. Is 50K really a lot of money for something like this caliber? It seems like a lot of people need to get paid. Yes. 50K is what we need to make it happen. Partially because I've already put money in and I have a lot of like the beginning done. Partially because I'm not paying myself for the writing. And yeah. So if we get to 50K, we can make it happen. Like anything less than 50K, it doesn't make sense financially to do it. Because again, I want to pay professional rates and I want professional work. You know? So yeah, 50K is the number. Now, obviously, much more than 50K allows us to do more cool and fun things, but we got to gauge interest. I just don't know. I don't know, you know, I don't know. Have I reached out to any comic book YouTube channels to see if they promote it? Nope. I haven't done anything like that. So yeah, no, I haven't done anything like that. I plan to, you know what I mean? I'm going to do a lot of that, but for now it's like, nah, man, I just like, let's just tell the Nerd Vengers about it. A lot of you guys already know about it, and you know, I'm gonna plug it in the videos. I'm gonna plug it on the streams. So I'll keep plugging away at it, man. I'll keep plugging away at it. Do you plan on making social pages for it? Just for it? Maybe. I'm not sure. For now, no. It's all just gonna run through my socials. So yeah, appreciate you. Okay, should we get into Q&A, guys? Let's get into Q&A. Let's talk about what y'all want to talk about. Can you tell us the difference between the 50K book and 200? Yes. The biggest difference is this. The 50K book is a hardcover, and it's going to come with like special edition. And it's great. I think it's a really good product. But the collector's edition is limited to 300, and it's going to be 300 versions of the book that have like an actual like holographic gold, like a metal cover. You've probably seen these before. They did them a lot in the 90s, metallic covers. So yeah, so it's a metallic covered version of the hardback, and we're only making 300 of them. How long until we get the preview? I think I have it dated for November, but it's really just going to depend. I think, look, the team is like ready to go. So, and they're pretty fast. So I think we could get it out fairly soon. You know what I mean? Yeah. Can we change tiers later? Yeah, I believe so. I don't think you're locked in until it's done. Yeah. We need some action figures. It's definitely been talked about behind the scenes. We'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? I still can't believe you're in Blue Beetle. I know, it is crazy. You know, it's like with that kind of exposure, I thought it would be a brilliant idea to make a comic book, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, man. Very excited. Very exciting. I really appreciate everybody, man. A lot of love, a lot of support on the project so far. So thank you. Okay. Dylan Dennis, the best psychological warrior of the decade. You know what I can't figure out is like, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's literally just, maybe it's Logan. Because I think, like, real talk, if it was maybe anybody other than Logan, most people would be like, too far, too much. You know? But because it's Logan, it's like, yeah. Am I going to sign the gold covers? Yes, the gold covers will be signed if you want them signed. Some people don't want them signed. That's fine. But none of the other ones are going to get signed. Just the gold ones. Who's your favorite character from Unity? Ooh, that's tough. I love Midas. I really like a character called Magnus, who you guys have not seen yet. And then obviously General Xander. I mean, the basically the main character is General Xander. And yeah, he's hard as nails, bro. He's hard as nails. So yeah, I like those characters. Okay. Let's get into the Q&A, and we'll go back into the chat. We'll look at the campaign. We'll talk more about, you know, what's happening and stuff together, okay? Okay. Kavit says, we ride together, we die together. Nerd Avengers for life. Oh, hell yeah, man. I appreciate that. And he followed it up by saying, after a stressful 2 weeks, I got a second interview for a GM position. Pay is good. Pray for your boy, please. I need all the good energy I can get. I will put a prayer out for you, brother. And that's great, man. And I know you've been going through it. And, you know, what is that saying? It's like when times get tough, the tough get going, you know? So you're going to be okay, man. Just keep going, man. And we got you. We're here for it. Rosie says, I was supering with theory about your comic, then YouTube started blocking me because they thought I was promoting the comic. Can't wait for it. Ah, shit. Well, I appreciate the love, man. And yeah, I hope you secured whatever you were looking for out of it. Thank you. Rosie says, did you see James Gunn clarifying that the new Superman movie isn't a young Superman? Writers are like, why did you get rid of Cavill then? Not going well. Oh, yeah. Did anybody else see that? The Hollywood Reporter... The Hollywood Reporter, man. Like, this guy is not making a lot of friends here. You know what I mean? And so the Hollywood Reporter put out an article, which, again, why would you attack the press? It feels pretty silly when you are going to be the president of a studio to start a fight with the actual press of Hollywood. Like, that seems crazy. So, yeah, they put out an article over the course of the weekend that was not very kind. You know what I mean? So, we'll see how that goes. Brian O'Connor says, I just want to know if Liam enjoyed his birthday. Bro, he had a great time. Here, let me show you guys I'll show you guys some of the photos, man. My favorite Liam photo ever... See if I can pull it up. Because, man, did we had a great time over the weekend for his birthday. Big party. A lot of family, a lot of friends. Can you guys see that pic? Look at that face he's making. He just looks like so done. And then we did the sorting ceremony, right? And he did Gryffindor. Now, he originally grabbed the Slytherin, and everybody was like, oh, no. And then he, like, literally dropped it and went over and grabbed the Gryffindor, and he brought it over to me. It was super cute. We got it on video and everything. It was pretty cool, man. So, yeah, he had a great time, and so did I. It was cool, man. A lot of support from friends and family. So it was a really good time. Diamond Fig says, did the Rebel Moon trailer release news affect Ahsoka's release? Kind of weird Ahsoka got coincidentally pushed up to the same day right after. I thought about that. I don't think so. I think, honestly, putting it at Tuesday nights is the move. So, essentially, they were like, with their release schedule, they were thinking, well, we're going to release it Wednesday. But it's effectively now Tuesday night, which it kind of was anyway. If you were going to stay up for it, which I was going to for at least the first two episodes, you were looking at tomorrow night, essentially. So they've just kind of did that and bumped it up, which I think is brilliant because now they'll get a ton of buzz going into Tuesday night late into Wednesday, and hopefully a lot of buzz Wednesday as people are talking about it, making breakdown videos, doing a lot of media about it. So I think that's great. And I think, by the way, they're doing that with Loki as well. I hope they do this with all of the Disney Plus shows. It might, honestly, it's probably a little too late for some of these fucking things, right? But, yeah, it's a good move. I don't think they did it because of Rebel Moon, but damn, bro. Like, we're getting Ahsoka and we're getting Rebel Moon stuff. It's like, this is a crazy week for me. Between the comic, Rebel Moon, Ahsoka, it's just a lot going on. And so I am very excited, man. John Cross says, what do you think of the fights? Who's next for Sugar Sean? It's a good question. So, I don't know if you guys had the same experience that I did. But the one thing that was weird about the fights over the weekend, it seemed like a lot of people were fighting sort of outside of the pocket. Meaning, there was like a longer range. And because of that, a lot of the fights had a weird rhythm because it was like both fighters were trying to fight at range and not like committing to the clinch and like getting into the pocket and like, swinging. Like you watch Dustin Poirier fight Gaethje and it's like, bro, they get in a phone booth and just go. And so the fights over the weekend were a little weird, I felt like the card was really long because there was no knockout, so everything went to decision. And the Zhang Wei Li fight, while good, was, kind of boring. She just dominated for over 25 minutes. So, I would say cool. I would say good. But, not my favorite card ever. But it was worth it to see the Sean thing live for sure. That knockout was crazy, so kudos to him. Who's next for Sean? He could rematch. He could rematch Puter. He could fight Cheeto. There's several good fights for Sugar. Owen says, hey, Josh, I think the main reason Blue Beetle didn't do well was because of marketing, the fact that no one really knows who he is. Yeah. Maybe. I think there's also a lot of brand erosion when it comes to DC. Frankly, like, even Black Adam probably could have done better if there wasn't such an exhausting experience of being a DC fan. So, that brand is in a lot of trouble, bro. That brand is in a lot of trouble, you know what I mean? Benjamin, keep it up. Thanks, brother, for the sticker. Appreciate it. Rosie says, did you see that Warhammer / Alex Jones I tagged you in? No, I don't know if I've seen that one before where like he's explaining the aliens and stuff. It's brilliant. I love those Warhammer memes where they take like different people and like put them in there as though they are the Space Marines or the Primarchs. It's brilliant. So I don't know if I saw the one you tagged me, but I've seen that exact one before. Peyton Moore says, I just want to know what people's hype level is for Ahsoka. We are one day out, and I'm stoked as I am nervous. Think we could do a poll? Should we do a poll? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. How hyped are you for Ahsoka? Let's go. Very hyped. Hyped. Kinda hyped. Couldn't care less. Boom. Boom. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Writing Quest says, I want Star Wars to succeed. Even if Ahsoka is incredible, do you think they can really save it? It's hard not to feel the damage is done. Well, there's a lot of damage done, but I think, Star Wars, like, it has, as bad as things are, and they are bad, people still love Star Wars. It's just that they're rejecting Disney's version of it. Like, there's not a lot of people that don't have some kind of affinity for Star Wars. And so all they need to do is be able to tap into that and have like a substantive difference between what you're getting and what you had gotten in the past. All they need to do is make a sort of shift, which, to be honest with you, could be easier. It potentially could be easier if Ahsoka fails. If Ahsoka fails, I think Disney should just completely wrap it up, fire everybody, and get fresh blood in there. And I mean, that technically might be an easier way to sort of shift that. You know what I mean? We'll see. Yava says, come on, Ahsoka, don't fail us. I know, bro. I'm nervous. I'm excited. Oh my God. Oh my God. Diamond Fig says, I think at this point, rather than expecting Ahsoka to fix everything, I at least hope it's the necessary first step in the right direction Star Wars needs. Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I appreciate that take. I appreciate that perspective. Like, I think that's fair. But I don't... My gut tells me, like, nah, man, this has to, like, be that show. This cannot be the, like, well, that's pretty good. I guess that could work if it was better. Like, that's... I don't think that's going to work, man. Including Dave? Yeah. If, I'm telling you right now, if this show fails, get rid of everybody, including Dave. And that breaks my heart to say, but like from a business perspective, like if it doesn't work, like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like what are we doing here? Emo Joe says, my 13-year-old son says live action Ahsoka is ugly. And I've never been more disappointed. Oh my God. We watched Clone Wars and Rebels together. Well, that's hilarious. And kids will say the darndest things, won't they, huh? Oh, man. Oh, man. Wow. Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about that? You're like, I'm disappointed, but I mean, bro, kids are just going to tell you raw, like how they feel. So he's not feeling Rosario's Ahsoka, huh? Whew, that's tough. Yeah, okay. Rosie says, have you seen all the mad critics because they didn't watch Rebels and don't have a clue what's going on? That will hurt normies. I actually haven't seen too much of that attitude, to be honest with you. Like, what I saw was people saying, you might not appreciate every single thing if you're not a Rebels fan, but you won't be lost. Like, you're not going to be lost if you're not a Rebels fan. You just might not, like, get why everybody around you is like, whoa, or, like, whatever, you know? But to be honest, like, the MCU was able to do that. Like, the MCU, like, when Thanos, at the end of Avengers, 90% of people in movie theaters were like, who the fuck was that guy? You know? But a lot of people, that like, the nerds and everything, we were like, yo, that's fucking Thanos! And then that created the hype. You know what I mean? So... We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Diamond Figs, welcome back to the Nerd Vengers. Appreciate the support, man. XA says, if you can't captivate the audience by episode 1, why would new, let alone existing fans, want to watch every episode up to the back half of the show? I think that's absolutely a fair point. That is a fair point. I think these days you need to go big right away. I think you need to go big and you need to make a splash and get people excited. So that is absolutely necessary. And look, we'll see it all for ourselves. We'll judge it accordingly very soon. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to expect. My God, it's getting hot in here. Smokey Kenobi says, I always like the video, then say I don't on the poll. Your data is skewed. Nerd Adventures for life. Keep it jiggy pimpin'. The fuck? Smokey Kenobi, how fucking dare you, bro? How dare you throw off my data like that, man? That's not right. Writing Quest, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger now. Appreciate you, man. Mike says, hey, Josh, wondering if you heard about 69 changing to 96. I guess it's due to inflation and the cost of eating out going up. Rebel Moon and Ahsoka hype. Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you. Matthew says, Would you wear cologne that smell like lavender and the inside of a comic book? You asked this on Nerd Theory, and no. Maybe the comic book thing, but nah. Sheesh. John Van Gelderand Jr. Dude, it's been a while, man. Says, if the second half of the show is where they find Ezra, then what actually happens in the first half? Also, how do I get into the Diamond Lounge? So the Diamond Lounge, you got to get on the Discord. You got to get on the Discord, and they will, they'll get you sorted on that, okay? How do I say this without spoiling anything? The first 4 episodes are about discovering the extent of Thrawn's plan and why he is a threat to the galaxy. The back half of the show is all taking place in the place, well, most of it's taking place in the place where Thrawn is at. Does that answer the question? Does that explain it? The Exodus says, imagine a rebooted MCU story stylistically inspired by Alex Ross and put the whole timeline back in an era when the comics originated. Fantastic Four, X-Men in their original time periods. I'd buy it. I would buy a comic of that. I don't know that I would want the entire MCU to be that. That, you know, I mean, I hear you. I think I get what you're saying. I don't know if that's I don't think that's a draw for normies. You know what I mean? Elijah says, I choose to be 10 of 10 over the top hype for Star Wars because this may be the last chance we ever get. At least we get to do it together. I agree with that big time. Like, I absolutely agree with that. Like, that's one of the coolest things. It's like, we're going to find out together. You know, that's what it is. We are going to find out together. Let's see here. Ostro Nutway says, I feel like Marvel kicked over an important box of toys and all the toys were missing some parts. Do you think this reboot will put the pieces back on those toys? No. And also, look, I just don't like the idea of the reboot being like their way out or like pull the ripcord in case of emergency. That shouldn't be what it is. Like, it should be a reboot because you want Doctor Doom and Iron Man hanging out. And I want them to, like, pitch it that way. It's also, like, we're pretty far away from that, so it's hard to say for sure. But, no, man, I just don't like it. Nick says, this is why I serve you, LOL. Wait, what? And also, thanks. Pretty Nikki says, just posted my $50 pledge. We'll donate more later. So happy for you, boss. Nerdvengers for life. Hey, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Pretty Nikki, and I hope you're doing well. XA says, it's my daughter's 4th birthday tomorrow. She decided she wants to go to the mall and have Chinese food and cheesecake for dinner. Dude, that sounds fun. There's just something about mall Chinese food, whether it's Panda Express or some other place, man. Yeah. We just had it the other day. I was like, nah, I need some of that shitty mall Chinese food. Something about it, you know? Shout out to your daughter, man. Caden Beatty says, almost at that 2-year mark, just ordered my Unity book. I'm hyped. Thanks for all you do for us. Best thing I ever did was becoming a Nerdvenger. Well, honestly, Caden Beatty, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that love. And I'm glad you got a pledge on Unity. And I'm excited. The sky's the limit with this book and with this IP. So, you know, we're going to see what's the response, and then we're going to react, you know, and if you guys want a lot, I mean, I've got a lot to give. So, Hi Jackman Tex Venger says, Ahsoka, hi, Nerdvengers for life. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Obi says, good luck with the Kickstarter. Can't wait for my collector's edition. Love to see some refreshing original IP for once. Yeah, you know, a couple of people on Twitter who probably just like never saw the trailer before, like, you know, I think I showed it on stream a couple of times, and we talked about it behind the scenes on like the Nerdvenger streams. So there were some people that had no idea what it was, right? And there were people that were like, bro, like this, holy shit, like this looks incredible. Like this is one of the most interesting trailers I've seen in like the past 5 years. And I really appreciate that because I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I went into it thinking not only can I compete with Marvel and DC from a creative perspective, but I think I can actually do better. I could put a fresh spin on an old lemon. You know what I mean? And we have something really special with Unity, and it's a very complicated story, but it's also told via the superhero genre with a lot of fun, bombastic action and fighting and all that sort of stuff. So it's really good stuff. White Noise official band says with a 10 spot, very generous man, says, "Oi, Josh, congrats on the comic. Question, why does Disney Plus give us these effed runtimes? Why not do HBO or Showtime hour-long episodes? Would kill for hour-long Star Wars episodes." Same. Why don't they do it? Why don't they do it? You know, I don't really know. Could be budget. Could be time. Because it is a kind of a factory, right? So it's probably easier for them to create shorter episodes. But I mean, look at Secret Invasion. Those were all an hour long and they were bad. So I don't know that it's just that answers the problem, but I do hear you, man. I want longer episodes as well. Thrawn's Clone says, "I'm less nervous about Ahsoka as a character. Very nervous I am about the handling of Thrawn. That trilogy is what kept Star Wars fans or Star Wars alive for me as a teen." I assume you're talking about the original, and yeah, man. Yeah. Big deal. Very big deal. Can't deny it. Huge deal for a lot of people. It's like one more legacy thing that they potentially could be screwing up. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's pretty wild. Havoc, welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now, man. I really appreciate the support. XA says, "Did you see Eggo released a waffle and syrup liqueur?" No, but that sounds pretty awesome. So, yeah. Callisto with a $10 holla says, "Less than an hour since launch, and we're already about to hit 10K pledge. I think you will easily reach 50K in 30 days. Congrats on the official launch. We are all so proud of you." Thank you so much, Callisto. Longtime supporter, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, that's great. That is great. Considering we haven't really, promoted it a ton. Just talking about it on stream and Twitter. Yeah, that's great. So, yeah, we got 30 days, man. We got to keep getting the word out. We got to keep trying to offer, some new things for the campaign. Keep communicating about the project. And, yeah, man, I'm excited. Should be really cool. It'll be great. Okay, I'll hang out for a couple more minutes with y'all. Secret Invasion was like 30 minutes. Wait, what? Really? Pretty sure they were longer. Hey, bro, long sub with you in theory. Where's the link for the Unity comic? I believe I have it pinned, but... Oh, you know what? I have the Twitter pinned. Don't I? Let me see if I can just get the link. Okay, looks like there's a couple things I need to fix too, but that's cool. Okay, copy link. No, it's all good. Let me just put it in here for y'all. Boom. That should take you to it. King Tier. Welcome to the Nerdvengers. You are a Nerdvenger now, baby. Crack 10K. Let's go. Josh, have you ever seen Code 8? I believe so. That was with Stephen Amell, right? Yeah, I liked it. Congrats on the launch once again. How are you feeling on the YouTube numbers for Ahsoka? Oh, that's a good question. I haven't felt great about it, but I can't decide. It's hard. YouTube's also gone through a lot of changes, and I find that look, basically, I find that unless I'm really making a great video about something people really care about, numbers are kind of bad right now. So it's hard to say, right? But I have not seen great numbers for Ahsoka. Now, earlier, when I was making videos last year about some of the big leaks, oh, they popped. A couple of those videos popped. but right now, not really. So I don't know, though. I haven't really looked too far into that. I don't know how other people are doing with Ahsoka. It's also possible that Ahsoka will be one of those shows that kind of starts out slower and sort of builds over time, as far as like fan interest and all that. So not really sure. Havoc says, now looking back, I knew we were doomed when you said Secret Invasion was Marvel's Andor. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like, that's, it's a tough one, man. You know, it's a tough one. Yeah. Are you going to continue watching other videos on stream like you were? Oh, yeah, for sure. You mean for Ahsoka? Yeah, I mean, I'll have a lot to say about Ahsoka on Wednesdays, but then, yeah, we can watch some other people's vids. Agreed. Not sure if it's a new YouTube climate or low interest. We shall see. Yeah, it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. Even Andor fans don't like Secret Invasion. That's kind of true, Agent Llama. Good to see you, Agent Llama. You know? Even though you drive me crazy. I appreciate the support. I feel like there have been a ton of marketing spent on Ahsoka, seeing it everywhere, hoping all the ads are actually reaching people to help the numbers. Yeah, true. I know they're doing a lot for it. I feel like they know it should be a big success for them, so they're trying to push it out. So, yeah. Yeah. When is that Nerd Theory album dropping? Ooh, that's a good question. I actually have to go over some of those beats. That's something I should try to do today. But I've just been very busy. Trying to get this comic book ready has been a lot, man. Like a lot. Nerd Theory tonight? I believe so, man. I believe so. We got to get it hyped up for Ahsoka. And also nervous and be like... Ooh, Cosmic Circus just put out an article about Kang. That's pretty cool. I'll have to watch that and maybe do a video. Yeah. Yeah. Let's fucking go promote that comic, my boy. Oh, I will. I just, I honestly need to get out of this room. I need to have some lunch and cool down, and then we'll promote, man. And then we'll get on the promotion scale, you know? But I really appreciate you guys already. That's a lot of support. I really thank you, man. We're really on the edge of a cliff. All of the 1,000 cuts will bleed out if Ahsoka tanks. Yep. Yep. How many tier 4s have sold, Josh? I'm not sure, bro. I am not sure. Okay, so there's a lot left. So there's 26 of them that I think that have been sold so far. Yeah. Now, I do think that tier will eventually sell out, especially as I push it more. But I didn't expect it to, like, sell out right away, which is good because I'm trying to get one of those too. Trying to get one of those too, bruh. Okay. Okay. All right, everybody. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. And, yeah, we're going to call it there. Going to get out of here. I'll see you guys tonight for Nerd Theory. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Nerdventure stream where we will also do a $200 GameStop gift card drawing. I will see you tomorrow afternoon for an impromptu GamesCon Rebel Moon stream. And then I'll see you tomorrow night for Ahsoka watch party. A lot of streaming early on in the week. So, much love. I appreciate you. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh, what a week, man. I'm so nervous. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. We could be entering a new era of Star Wars. Or closing the door forever. Exciting things. Exciting things happening, man. Rebel Moon. Unity. Let's get it. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow or later tonight. Sometime. All right. Open your third eye and wash out your stinky butt. I'll see you later.